Hi, my name is Neal Brennan. Did I catch you off guard, Fortune? You were no, you didn't. You were yawning, I think.
No, I wasn't.
By the way, you can yawn here. Look, I just want people to be themselves. It's me, Neal Brennan. This is the Blocks podcast where we talk about things that make people feel like they're alone in the world, like they're isolated, there's something wrong with them. And we talk about it and we get it out in the open and people feel better. And from what I understand, the earth heals. My guest today is a 5-time Grammy nominee.
What?
I just like, you I've known for, I'm going to go 7 years, maybe more.
Maybe more, but not well.
Yeah, not well.
I would go to the store, obviously.
Yeah, I'd see you at the store.
Yeah, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah, and would hear about you, heard you were funny, saw you were funny. And more than funny, you're so fucking pleasing and charismatic.
Oh, thank you.
And like you go down real smooth.
That's nice.
Just I watch your special sometimes. I'm like, fuck, dude, just be like her. Just be like her a little bit. Enough with the heavy and the just be nice and fun.
Yeah.
And your proof that somebody defined charm as not, do I like this person? It's, would this person like me? And you seem like you like pretty much everybody.
I like most people.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but most people.
Like more people than I seem like I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I have a gruff exterior.
Yeah, you seem like you would be kind of annoyed by certain people or not impressed by certain people.
But I am.
I'm a people person.
I am impressed, Fortune. Here's what they don't tell you. I'm very impressed. So I'm happy to have you on.
Thank you.
You're just, I also feel like you just earned every step of your success.
Oh, that I appreciate. I mean, I have worked my butt off for sure.
Yeah, and you like wrote for Chelsea, right?
You were a writer and a panelist on Chelsea lately.
Like anyone, if you write for a show, that's almost like it's not an internship, but there's something about it. Like if someone writes, Jesselnick will never do anything more impressive to me than writing for Fallon for 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, cause it's a weird, like indentured servant. You're like Santa's helper.
Kind of behind the scenes.
You're behind the scenes. You have to learn somebody else's voice. You have to, you work a system. You have pressure. And you figure it out. And you like, so you did that. And then you started getting on the show. Then you started getting cast in stuff.
Yeah.
And when did you start comedy?
Well, I moved to LA 20 years ago. I know I don't look that old.
No. 20 years ago. What were you, 4?
4. And, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Kind of came out here for a life experience.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't come to like be a comedian. I had done plays in college, but I wasn't very good at it.
Here's a funny, rude question. Did you come out here to be gay?
That's a pretty great question.
Did I moved out to LA to be gay?
No, I was in the closet. Well, I was in the closet not knowing.
My question stands.
I know it does stand, but I wasn't seeking myself either. I didn't even like know to be questioning that at the time.
Got it.
It was just kind of a non-thing. I knew something was like different. I knew I didn't connect with men.
Did you come out to be different? Like, is that...
No.
Do you think that was part of it?
I think it really was like I was coming out. I was I did that typical like PA stuff at first.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, this is how I can live in LA and sort of be around the entertainment industry, but I don't know like what part of the entertainment industry is for me. It just seems
you just knew you were drawn to what seemed like an easy job.
Yes, exactly.
Like, well, that seems easy.
But I wasn't questioning my sexuality at the time. It was more of just like,
were other people?
I'm sure. I'm sure they were. It just wasn't a thing that was talked about as much back then. And so I moved out here and did that. And then my first 2 years here, I had a really hard time making friends. I'm from a small town where like everybody knows each other. Everybody talks.
You're from Georgia?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, got it.
And I started taking groundlings classes to just make friends as a hobby. And that's where they were like, oh, you should keep doing this. And so I guess technically that comedy started in 2005. And then
like the classic Groundlings, or like got
the
it.
classes, yeah. But I simultaneously started my own improv and sketch group because I was like, well,
You were going to put Groundlings out of business.
Well, the school was so popular,
Right?
And they only had so many classes and one stage. We never got to perform. I'm like, how am I going to get better?
Yeah,
if I don't put this into practice. So I started my own group, and we played in bars around town. And at one of those shows, someone was like, "You should do stand up." And so 2007 was technically when I started trying stand up.
Because you kept stepping to the front of the stage.
I was grabbing a mic
and doing monologues. I don't know what they saw. And so in 2007, you started doing stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, once I hear someone started their own sketch group and was doing it in bars,
yeah,
you just go, all right, well, I'm not going to resent this person very much.
That's good.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I can't.
I feel the same way. When someone works so hard and they get success, you're like, good for them.
God bless.
Yeah.
Sebastian, you want to go ahead and do arenas?
Do it.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
And am I wrong? So that's 2007 you started doing stand-up. You're writing for Chelsea 11?
11, yeah. So so once I found stand-up, the trajectory started fairly quickly. I took a stand-up class first. At the end of the class, you did a show in the belly room. I don't know if you remember Adam Barnhart. He had a show up in the belly room.
Familiar.
So after the class was done, he was like, if you do the music for my show, like just press play, I'll give you 10 minutes. So I got, as a brand new comic, 10 minutes in the belly room every Sunday night for a year. So I just kept writing, performing. And then people at the store started noticing me. Brett Ernst started, putting my name in front of Tommy to be like, let her showcase.
Started yelling your name.
Goddamn right I did.
Yeah.
In front of Tommy, yep.
And then by 2009, I think that's when Mitzi saw my tape. And didn't do the like paid regular thing, but the Friday night regular thing.
Great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
Where you're in the
kind of in that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get past till 2013, maybe?
Yeah.
I went there in 2007. Maybe
That's crazy.
2011, 2012.
Yeah, that's wild.
I auditioned for Mitzi. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
And then Paulie passed me. So,
interesting.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2010 they made me a paid regular, and then a few months after that I did Last Comic Standing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was my first TV gig, 2010.
How long do you last on Last Comic Standing?
4 episodes, semifinals.
Great.
But honestly,
who won your year?
Felipe Esparza.
Right.
It was between him and why can't I? Tommy Johnigan.
Great,
really funny, solid comic.
Can't argue with either.
Yeah, there was a lot of good comics my season, but I got out at the perfect time because I was 2.5 years into stand up.
Yeah, it's probably too early.
If I'd kept going, I would have been like, I got no more jokes.
Yeah.
That's no more jokes.
That'll do it for me. Anyone who says they're funnier than me is probably right. So I'm gonna go.
That's when you just bow to the audience.
Yep.
Like, this has been fun.
It was great to meet you. I'm gonna you'll give me a year. I'm gonna go write. I'm gonna write another 12 minutes.
Yeah. So the stand-up trajectory was fast. So like, I'm 2.5 years in stand-up. Do Last Comic Standing. I'm now headlining. I didn't get to open for anyone. I didn't get to tour with anyone to see like how it works.
Yeah.
So it was like good and bad. It was like I got that off and running quick. But
in some ways, there's not much you can. I mean,
I guess, but I was flailing. I was like doing these 45-minute headliner shows. Like, what am I doing? I was like talking to the audience, taking Q&As, whatever it took to fill 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard worse.
Yeah,
like I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't apologize. And you also, but you look back and you're like, this is not a bad show.
Yeah.
Let's talk blocks very quickly.
Blocks.
Do you mind?
No,
do you mind if we talk some of your blocks?
We all have blocks.
Sure. That's what we come here to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. So your first block, which I can relate to, and I'm not surprised to hear, you say, I have a problem with boundaries, how to say no, and you have guilt about things because you want to please people.
Yep.
Talk to us. You seem like you want to please people.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that thing. And I guess, that is not a surprise as to why I got into comedy. I want to make people happy, right? I want people to feel good. That started at a very young age, like seeing my mom go through the divorce with my dad. Kind of want to make her happy, make sure she's okay. So I think it started.
How'd she take it?
The divorce?
Yeah.
Not good.
Not well.
No. It was a very dramatic, traumatic situation.
I know your mother from the ghost joke you're telling right now.
Yeah.
She sounds naturally dramatic or no?
Yeah, she's like a character is the best way to describe her. Where she's just a little over the top.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess dramatic.
Like Southern Gothic.
Yeah. Oh my.
My heavens.
Yeah, she's kind of like that, but she would never think of herself like that. So yeah, I think that developed early on of just like.
Where'd your dad go?
They just divorced and he just kind of, who knows where he went.
He just was like.
He was in my life, but around the time of the divorce, he kind of went wherever he went. I don't know.
We still don't know. Great.
And then would show up like on a Saturday and be like, you want me to go?
You want to do the belly room?
The Blockbuster video.
Great.
And you're like, cool. And it was a simple relationship.
I'm not asking any questions.
Exactly. Where she was like kind of picking up all the pieces.
You're their only child?
I'm one of three, but my oldest brother, they got divorced. And then my oldest brother, who's like a father figure as well, went to college 2 weeks later. So he split, and it was me and my brother who just turned 16. So he got his license. So he was like, peace out. So
you're how old?
I was 12.
Okay.
So I was there with my mom, just being like, don't cry.
Yeah.
And I think that it's kind of started there of like, I just want everything to be okay.
Somebody said all comedians, and I think it's probably 70% true. All comedians have sad moms.
Oh, interesting.
I think there's something. No, it's like I heard it somewhere pretty credible. I like a comedian, but it checks out pretty well.
I mean, she did a lot of, growth over the years where she's not that type of person. I mean, she still has her moments of being dramatic for sure, but she got out of her funk eventually, but it was definitely one of those life-changing.
Did you actually help her, do you think?
I joke in my stand-up set right now, I kind of became her husband.
Yeah.
During that time, where I was just sort of expected to take care of her. I was expected to kind of make sure she was okay, set her alarm clock every night. Yeah, I was like her plus one.
Set her alarm clock.
I set her alarm clock every.
She couldn't figure it out.
I said, and this is my wife would argue my enabling. Where I'm not just demanding, being like, no, you need to learn to set your own alarm. I would be like,
right.
I've got to set my mom's alarm clock.
She couldn't figure it out.
She wouldn't. There's a difference.
Okay. Great. And you couldn't tell she was the authority. So you had to do.
Yeah, I just did it.
Yeah.
So annoyed, I would do it annoyed, in an annoyed way. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go set my mom's alarm. I'd be like, Mom.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah. But looking back, I go, oh, that kind of exactly describes that relationship.
Yeah.
Just like she needs this. I'm gonna fix it for her. And so that was our dynamic for a while. So yeah. But that would go back to where I don't have boundaries, or I didn't have boundaries as far as I had a hard time saying no, had a hard time being like, no, this is, not my responsibility. Just I'll just do it because it's easier to do it than.
It is easier. But at what point did you realize I'm drowning in other people's needs or in other people's
Probably not till I moved to LA. It was a while.
And was it a relationship or was it where you would do stuff and go why am I doing this?
Well, definitely I've been with my now wife for 8 years.
A female friend of mine recently said, and agree or let me know if this is true because you're an authority. Lesbians have good boundaries.
Not everybody, not all.
Right, right. But would you 70%
for sure?
Can we go 70%?
I think they're a little bit more in touch with that stuff. So yeah, okay. I guess so. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not in that stat. I definitely was bad at it. And so, I mean, to this day, I've got, my wife will say I've gotten a lot better since we've been together, but she's usually, and people be like thinking Jax is the tough one or whatever because she has boundaries. Like my mom hates that Jax has boundaries like that. But
so she has like a rep for being like mean and tough?
Not mean, but just more matter of fact. Jax is very black and white. There's no gray.
Was she a cop or am I imagining that?
Her ex was a cop.
Okay.
A couple of exes were cops.
Got it. All right.
But she just has a very clear sense of like, yes, no, that's okay. That's not okay. And I live in the gray. Like, mate, what does it hurt this one time?
Are you a don't give answers? You go, we'll see, knowing you're not going to do it?
Yeah, yeah. Probably. I'll try to work that out. And sometimes I do work it out
take
or
nothing
do it.
away. Every once in a while,
I have a hard time telling people no.
Yeah.
I mean, people write me all the time to do like shows around town and I'll have like 1,000 things going on.
Yep.
I will send them. Sometimes I had to stop responding because it was depleting me of because I was giving so much to these responses. I would do like a paragraph of why I can't do the show.
Have you had the experience with Jax has boundaries and you understand when she sets one, you're okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah,
but you don't have faith that other people are okay. Or is it just you want to be liked too badly?
I don't want to make people feel bad. And I don't think it's a matter of like what they'll think of me. I'm not like worried like, oh, suddenly they won't like me. It's more of just like, I'm so sorry I can't do that thing for you that you really want from me. Does that make sense?
Of course it does. But you also know your level of desire for things is, if it happens, it happens. I want that. But if I can't, if they're out of ice cream, I'll get the cookie or whatever. Like you just have, assuming that everyone is at a 10, I think is a mistake. I've made the same mistake where it's like, and also assuming that anyone's thinking about you as much as you think
that would be the other thing. No one's like sweating it as much.
Yeah, but it's hard to believe. You almost don't want to believe like I'm just some person. I'm just some name on a list that they're going down.
And I think I've gotten better with saying no over the llast few years in particular because I just got so busy.
Yeah.
I just could not do it. So it wasn't even a choice of like, do I want to do this?
There's not enough hours in the day.
There's not enough hours in the day. So no's had to start coming.
Was there a bottom?
I think I'm more just like exhaustion of like, I can't do 1,000 things. Like I have that, I have that desire to like do a bunch of stuff, constantly working, constantly, just saying yes to things, a fear that things would go away or that my career is only going to last a certain amount of time. That stuff's all fear-based.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to work on boundaries and I'm glad I'm making some strides, but definitely have not mastered that one. And
I would also, it's funny, as you were saying, careers are like it'll end. I was gonna make a joke about yes, God knows careers never end. Like they end.
Yeah, they end. And they slow down. Or they
slow down or whatever.
They have hills and valleys, right? Like,
I will say you're on a pretty nice trajectory.
I appreciate it.
I say that objectively.
Wins the race.
I say that objectively, like it seems like the venues get bigger and the more shows and it seems to be trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
So from the outside in, it seems like positive.
It's very positive. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I still will, I think, always operate from a place of like, well, if and when this goes away.
What's your fear about why?
I think that at some point, people just will move on. I'll have another comic I really like or another actor I'm really into.
It is funny because they can only really like 4 of us.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, like I'm very aware of that. Like,
yeah.
All right. You ever do the thing of people who bought your tickets also looked at? It's like on the bottom of
really?
Ticketmaster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just like they were also looked at, and you're like, yeah.
That makes sense.
I get it. Look, if you go to a comedy show once a 4 times a year, that's kind of a lot. You would
Yeah.
be like you'd be the kind of person who brings up comedy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there's a difference between I want to watch you for an hour in my house
Mm-hmm.
or I want to take a shower, drive,
Pay money.
park,
Mm-hmm.
pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a goddamn Q&A, Fortune. I'm kidding.
That's right.
But no,
now I have material.
yeah. Well, no, but now but you are right that it is, maybe they move on. But what do you think you would do?
I think that's why I do so many different things.
Yeah.
Like, so should acting or stand up fall, by the wayside a little bit? I have writing I can lean back on.
Yeah.
Radio. I don't know. Different. Yeah. I don't know what the avenue would be.
I'm young. What's radio? I'm a young person. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh. Now it's just a 2-minute TikTok.
Uh-huh. You can fall back on your TikToks.
I will fall back on my TikToks.
You never lose that muscle. Okay.
But that's just me operating from that scarcity, fear-based, which could lead back to all the things I discussed from the beginning, that, those childhood traumas, dramas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of it's paranoia. Some of it's a little real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some of it's like, I need to have I want to make a certain, I need to certain amount of calories to keep the body going.
Mm-hmm.
I need a certain amount of busy. I need a certain amount of work. It is finite. And I don't know what the right balance is.
Yeah.
But being all in is, people's careers do slow down.
Yeah, for sure. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. And I do see that too, It's not the end of the world. It's not the end all be all. They'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, your identity isn't tied to.
Exactly. And that's why I'm really grateful that I did meet my wife, because there was a time where I thought, well, maybe I won't get to have the relationship and the career. I've got to have one. So it's nice to know, even though she would argue that I put so much focus on the career, I don't want to make my relationship fall by the wayside. I am grateful that I have her so that my career isn't everything.
Does she mention that you can be a little focused on the career?
Yeah, for sure. But she also
that has been brought up.
Knows that. Yeah, for sure. And I've tried to, be better about being like, well, let's take a vacation. Where would you like to go? I don't want this to be about my job and where I have to go do a show.
Look, if there happens to be a comedy club there.
I know if I can pay for a trip.
Who would I'd be a fool not to.
Right? Come on. It's the long haul out here. But she's also super supportive and knows how much I love what I do.
Yeah.
And it comes from a place of, I'm doing it because I love it.
Yeah, I think about that as I don't think I've ever complained to somebody I was dating that they were too focused on the thing they were into.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's never like, oh, you need to stop. It's never like, you should stop caring so much or doing so much. It's more of just like.
Did you have to make time, like no work Sunday, phones off, computers
I haven't
away?
done that, but you never know.
You should.
I should.
Before it's too late. All right, so you haven't had to do anything. You haven't had to take drastic measures or
yet.
A couple. Yeah.
But you never know.
I always wonder, are you pretty good at, I guess you are good at intuit. You are empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not good at it.
Oh, really?
And I wonder, is your wife more empathetic than you are?
Probably. I'm way more empathetic than my wife because I'm a Cancer. It's kind of part of, that's that hippie.
And your parents got divorced.
Stuff.
Yep.
She is probably more thoughtful than me. She thinks about, if I talked about really liking something, 2 months later, she will go get that thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm a little out to lunch on things like that. I'm always like, I don't know what you like. So
interesting.
But if
I'm so used to gendering things that same-sex relationships are interesting to me because it's so how do you guys figure it out?
Yeah.
Because with a man and a woman, it's just you be a stereotype, I'll be a stereotype.
Right.
We'll figure it out. You're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, no.
So I'm wondering.
I know. I do worry sometimes that I'm too much like a dude if you're going.
Well, that's what's funny, though. That's what's funny to me is are you are empathetic, you are people pleasy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stereotypically feminine.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff.
But then totally out to lunch with certain things. Yeah.
And forgetful, and she's more thoughtful and more it's like
exactly.
And that could be feminine or it's just it. I don't know how you guys do it.
You can't put us in a box.
It's so wild. I want to so badly. Get on your. Can I put you on a float?
Sure.
I'd love to put you on a float. Hi guys. You know how I'm easily perturbed? Maybe not. Maybe that's not my brand anymore. Maybe it's about wellness and happiness. Anyhow, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be stressful. And GameTime can help you. GameTime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun. Plan your outfit. Or are you young? Plan your fit. So much cooler. Fuck, that's cool. Neal, why did your glasses just tint over? I said fit. All right. Here's some events coming up in LA. You got YG. I saw YG one time in Vegas at a club, and YG had way more hits than I knew. You got baseball, you got tennis, you got Wrexham AFC at LA Galaxy. Wrexham, my friend Ryan Reynolds. You got Larry June, I've never heard of because I'm, getting up in years. Better Than Ezra, I remember. Jimmy Eat World. Feels like they are from if you told me who's Jimmy Eat World and who's in Better Than Ezra, I couldn't tell you. Guys, what's great about aging is you stop caring about cultural things and you just go, I don't know, one of the rappers. But I will say YG had a lot of hits. I'm on the app right now, so you can get tickets for any one of these concerts, the sports, the Dodgers with your Dodgers. Tim McGraw's coming. That's exciting. He wears a thin leather hat. So pretty cool. GameTime is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The GameTime guarantee means you'll get the best price if you find tickets in the same section and row for less. GameTime will credit you 100%, Neal? No, guys. Anyone can do that. GameTime credits you 110% of the difference. Snag the tickets without the stress with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code BLOCKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BLOCKS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. I love you. I'm literally in love with you. I'm an overachiever, so I can be very hard on myself if something is not great, and I try to be good at way too many things. Keeps me from being great at some stuff.
Which ties into everything we're talking about, right? I'm doing all these things because I'm trying to accomplish a lot. The overachiever thing, I think, goes back to the early days. Again, around that same time, I was trying to please people and make my mom happy because there was a lot of chaos in our house. And I think I started to put a lot of my attention at school. Like school is my safe haven, like where I could breathe. I go, it's not chaos here. And there was so much going on around me at home that I think I tried to accomplish everything and be good at everything because that was like the one place where
you control it and you were directly rewarded for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like in a very, you get the number one ribbon.
Yep. And so that started a long time ago.
I think perfectionism is a bigger issue for women than men. I think guys are more just like, I can get at that and whatever. But real, especially in school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a question. I always wonder if I had to hire a staff of just to do a nebulous thing. Would I rather hire women or men? And I always wonder, because women are good about beating themselves up.
They are. If I had a nickel for every time a female comic got off stage and went, I don't know. It was okay. And then every time you see a dude not every dude, but
Chelsea Peretti used to talk about that.
My fantasy of what it's like to be a guy is you just wake up in the morning and your eyes open and you're like, I'm awesome.
Mediocre set. They're like, I crush.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see the audience? And every woman who just crushed, not every woman, but they had this woman had a great set, a girl had a great set, and they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't laugh at that one thing. And, and I go, it mystifies me. And I'm guilty of it too. My wife's always, she's always like, do you see any guy in this room doing that after their set? She's like, stop. I'll go into the green room and be like, it was okay.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because it is like the upside of femininity. The upside of femininity is like soft power. You're socially more adept.
I love the phrase soft power.
Soft power. That's what women have. Men have hard power. Like, I'll fucking move it. Whereas women are like, maybe we should discuss, let everyone be heard. Let's build a consensus.
Yeah.
But the downside is you're open to be, whereas guys are like, testosterone doesn't even.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that they knew someone who's doing hormone therapy. They're transitioning from woman to man. And the more testosterone they take, they can't believe how little empathy they have now.
Whoa, really?
Like, wow, like this is palpable how much less empathy I have than I had months ago.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, here's devil's advocate.
Okay.
You're probably better from beating yourself up.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Because you're forced to kind of like do better?
Yeah, you have a standard. You have dysmorphia about reality that makes you better.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do a shitty show. You just don't want to do a shitty show.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah.
So I guess it's all of these things in the proper serving size.
I think I'm probably better at stand-up than I would be if I weren't so hard on myself, because I force myself to like keep going on the road, keep doing this thing, keep working on this joke. And so it makes me dig into stuff a bit more. I guess my part of like, I try to be good at everything. It's like, I'm doing stand-up, I'm doing acting, I'm doing a radio show, I'm doing this. I'm like, does doing so much of one thing keep me from being like, I'm a good stand-up? Does it keep me from being a great stand-up? Does like, stand-up keep me from being a better actor? Does it, or does it all just like, it just is what it is? And I
think it's just like people just go, it's Fortune.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're like, but my shirt and I wasn't present, and people are just like, oh, I like her.
Yeah. And I think the older I get, I think I'm conceding to just like, I'm doing the best I can. Yeah. The overachiever thing, I still want to be good at stuff for sure. I never want to put out mediocre stuff. Not that I haven't. We all do, but I'm less hard on myself about it than I used to be. But I have definitely had the overachiever syndrome, whatever you call it, since I like 7th grade.
Yeah. But someone one time that I was working with was like, Brennan's a perfectionist. And it was like, and every once in a while, it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yes. And and again, like you, occasionally, it's every few years or once a decade or something. But like, I don't think it's the worst. I think it's a good aspiration to have as long as you're not making yourself miserable.
Right.
And you're a little bit dysmorphic.
Yeah.
But not insane where you don't acknowledge a quality that you have or a skill you have.
Or where like can't sleep at night because my head's spinning. Like I don't like
this
that.
Is not true.
Yeah.
Like it's not true. Why this wouldn't have happened if like no one's that susceptible to like what do you think happened? Letterman was on here and he was saying how like his wife has to like cheer him up with his achievements.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many Emmys did you win?
Right.
You won a Peabody. You won a fucking Kennedy Center honor.
Yeah.
Like you won a Mark Twain. Like, so you tricked, you're the greatest con man of all time. For that to be true, you'd have to be the guy from Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
But with an audience who's reacting
that we're all in
normally.
Yeah.
But
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing of like not making it so you're where it's just not reality.
Yeah. And I definitely like, I would say, I say to people, I'm always shocked that I do have self-esteem. You know what I mean? Because there's so many things trying to chip away at that for all of us. That everybody has these like things trying to make them feel less than from the internet.
I literally just had the thought in the bathroom. I am not the comments. I am not the worst thing said about me in the comment section. I thought that 25 minutes ago. As an adult.
As an adult, can you imagine being a kid having that influence? And so I'm grateful that I have any self-esteem. Yeah. There's a lot of things stacked up against me to not have it.
As you were talking, I had the thought that we are stuck with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's good and bad news.
Right.
So you end up being like, yeah, it's a hovel. It's a shithole, but it's my shithole.
Yeah, right.
Like that's who we are to ourselves. Like, yeah, but come on. Mm-hmm. You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Because we're stuck with ourselves.
Yeah. And I kind of course there are things about me I wish were different. Of course I wish there are things about me I need to be better at and whatnot. I'm not a perfect person. No one is. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I gotta like myself. I got to, like that's the only thing I think I've got to like get through those, if you see those comments like that or people telling you you're a piece of crap or whatever, or the no's that you get in the business. I fall back on the like, okay, I like myself. Mm-hmm. Thank God, and that it was instilled in me, I think, from a young age with my grandmother.
Did she say it explicitly?
Yeah. I mean, she just had that unconditional love, like that. And she died when I was young. But when there was like all the chaos around, she was like that North Star, like, oh, I have her, I'm good. And she just was like, love me. That had, no notes. And not to say I don't want that.
I say that all the time in relationships, like no notes. I don't give them. I really don't give them. It's like it either is going to work or it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're entitled to tell me how to be other than if I'm encroaching on your time or your physical space, whatever. Like, yes.
Yeah. But I kind of owe any self-confidence to her. She just gave me that rock. That thing I needed to like sort of hang on to.
And she did it by loving you. She didn't do it by saying, and you should love yourself. She just very demonstrated loving you. And you were like, well, she's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm worth loving.
Exactly. Just that. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Are you like her? Do you remind people of her?
She was more thoughtful.
Everyone is at this point.
I mean, I knew her from an older age where she had softened a lot. My mom told me she was a little bit more hard, like growing up, not as demonstrative, and didn't really say I love you and affectionate, but it was such that way with me. Wasn't with my mom and her brothers. Did not say I love you, did not hug, but like with me and my brothers. As a grandmother,
how she was with her brothers,
right? That doesn't concern me. But she was like cutting, roses from her garden and taking them to like the bank teller, the librarian, the secretaries at the school. She was always like saying everyone loved her. Like when she died, so many people in town came to her funeral because she touched so many people and had like a light about her. And I would like to think I have a positivity that I share with people.
You really do.
In that way.
You really do. I brought you here to tell you.
Oh, thank you.
You got it.
I don't give people roses, but I give them jokes.
You give me eye roses. You energetic roses. You are roses. I swear to you. Like you are that. You are the I actually used to say it about Felipe Esparza.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in the same boat, it's a different boat, but I used to say, if you cut to Felipe in a movie, he gets a laugh.
Felipe!
Literally cut to him, you're going to get a laugh. Cut to you, you're going to get kindness.
Mm-hmm. Carol. That's my grandmother's name.
You're going to get feeling of people will be like, she seems nice.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Well, thank you.
So I can't wait till someone cuts to you.
Oh, no. That's a kind face.
Eating.
Oh God, that's like the bane of my existence.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I put that as a block because, I'm not going to skirt around it. Clearly, that's an issue I have. I'm a big.
You don't. I will say this: you don't seem the wrong weight.
Oh well.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't. I don't think.
You can't see me as a little mini.
I don't think that's what you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What's your family's body like?
Oh, I come from big folk. My parents are both big. I have one brother that's pretty fit. He and his family are very healthy, health
But
conscious.
kind of thick fit?
Yeah, no one in my family is like a beanpole for sure. We're just a big.
But I think certain people have just your frame or whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
that's just what the cells are going to do.
Yeah. So I think for me, food is how I celebrate. It's how I express sadness. It's like I
make sad cakes.
Yeah, I have sad cakes.
I've got cake says I'm sad and icing.
Yeah. I just rely on it too much. I think about it too much. Like food makes me so happy. I wake up, what is for breakfast? I wish it weren't such a part of my
And do you
day.
think about nutrition?
No.
I wish I didn't think about nutrition. Because the only way to wake up and going, what's for breakfast is if syrup is involved.
Right.
And the only way syrup can be involved is if you don't care about nutrition.
Yeah. Well, but again, I keep going back to my wife, but we're so, enmeshed with each other at this point, 8 years in. She thinks about nutrition. She's the health person and her family's very healthy. Her mom's very healthy. So she's had to, and she'll say to me, like, I can't believe that you don't know these basics, nutritional things, ABC.
You still can't believe that rice becomes sugar.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
What are they talking about? Bread is not sugar. Bread's bread.
But I come from North Carolina. Not that there aren't healthy people in North Carolina, but we love food in the South. Everything's fried, sweet tea, like sugars and everything. So it just wasn't a part of any conversation. I don't remember salads when I was
You didn't know salads existed till you moved out here.
I didn't know they existed unless they were on the buffet at a cheap steakhouse that you piled on your plate.
Cheese, ham,
Thousand Island, croutons, ranch. And that's before you eat like 6 other things.
Yes.
That's how I knew of a salad. Not like here's the one healthy thing you're going to eat and that's your meal. Of course I'm to the age now where I understand things more. I'm not an idiot.
You understand it intellectually, but you don't really understand.
But things are ingrained in you, You have these habits. And so I'm better about it. And my wife and I will go through times where I'll be way more dialed in and I'll lose weight and feel good. But boy, do I get off that train so fast.
Oh, well, I was picturing you sneaking.
Oh, yeah, I've done that for sure.
She gives you no choice.
I say, you'll never... I said, you don't have to worry that I'm like off doing something I'm not supposed to do. I have no desire, but will I probably go through a drive-through and not tell you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
to be okay with it. Yeah, that's when you think about the road, you must be like.
Yeah, she'll be like, I know you sneak snacks. And she's not like my,
You're like, stop looking at my phone. Stop looking at my geolocation on my Google. You're so paranoid.
But her whole thing is obviously she wants me to be healthy so I can live longer.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That is a fair point. And I reeled it in I know. I reeled it in when I was about to film this crazy action series
called Fubar. Now streaming on Netflix, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. They cut to her.
That was on me.
And it's kindness and fun because I've watched the trailer.
Oh, nice. But I reeled it in for that. So I can do it. I just get lazy.
How'd you reel it in?
I knew I was going to be in action scenes with Arnold Schwarzenegger and,
You're like running and diving and shit?
Yeah. I mean, it's very physical. I'm army crawling across the floor, running. I knew that we would be shooting like 12 to 15 hour days. So I started doing I called a friend who she used to train me back in the day and she doesn't do it now, but I would go to her house like 2 or 3 times a week and do, sort of CrossFit type workouts. I did that solid for 2 months. I just tried to eat less.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to be the person that's like, no sweets for me. You know what I mean? But I can be like, I'll eat less.
You have sweets every day?
I do right now, which is why I've put on weight.
Again, I don't know that you put on weight.
Well, because I'm always
I know you know.
I'm always a version of chubby. You know what I mean?
You just look like yourself.
Yeah. So I know that I've put on weight, but I no one's paying attention enough to me to know to be like, oh, her face is bigger than it usually is, or whatever.
I carry measuring tape. I should use it. I should put it together.
But I think that will be a block for me my whole life.
And I think saying it's going to be a block for me, it doesn't let you off the hook, but it makes it like, look, I'm never going to solve this, because that's the problem with a food. Not like it's an addiction.
No,
but when people have food
it's probably an addiction. Yeah.
You have to eat.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of like, I need to come to some sort of understanding about this, because you're going to have to eat 5 times a day, 5 meals a day. I'm kidding. But yeah.
So I am kind of copping out on it a little bit. But I'm a big girl. I'm always going to be a big girl, you know, but
I'm giving you an out too by saying that you are supposed to be this shape. Just remember that if you're at your lowest, be like, Neal said I'm supposed to. It doesn't make you less funny.
You know, there's something to be said.
I'll say that. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make you less funny.
But here, I do at least have enough sense to know this. I don't do drugs, like ever. I've never done hard drugs or tried hard drugs. I've had some weed, of course. Weed's not even really my thing. I drink. I like it old fashioned. I have like 1 or 2 drinks a week. I know I at least have enough sense to know I can't be a drug person and a food person. So I'm sticking with my one vice and not dipping into the other one. So maybe that's positive.
Does Jax have any shortcomings?
I'm sure. I mean, who doesn't?
She'll come on. No, but I'm wondering, we're taking it out on you, and I want to get Jax over there.
Get her in this?
Yeah, get her over the cold. This is funny. Listening.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I think because I'm trying to juggle so many things at a time that I have a problem with a little bit of ADD, or I have a little ADD. So there's that as well. But sometimes someone will be talking and I'm thinking about the 3 other things I've got to do instead of just being present. And not with everybody. Some friends might be like, oh, you're a great listener. But I've been really bad lately about my ADD taking over and letting my brain go to wherever it goes and not being present.
Where does it mostly go? Because Fred Armisen was here when we were talking about where our brains go.
I think it goes to my checklist. You got to do this. You got to do this. Did you do this? What about this? Has this person done
just
this?
Your worry hierarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not like thinking about, I'd rather be on a beach.
I should be in a drive-through.
Yeah. I'm not that bad.
And one more thing. Is the syrup, is the hot fudge oven still on?
Is it hot? Yeah, and I'm bad with my relationship. Sometimes, she's like, I've told you this 3 times. And I'm like, I literally genuinely didn't hear you.
Well, as you get older, I'm curious what other people's experiences which is there are times where I forget something and I'll go, you were right to forget that. Meaning it's just not important to me. Like my brain, I have a list of importance in my head of like categories that are important.
Yeah.
Some things don't make it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. And also I'm trending in a happier direction generally as a person.
There you go.
Not like I'm getting forgetful, but whenever I think about like when people go, I'm having a senior moment, I kind of want to say to them, like, maybe it just doesn't, you're having a senior moment because you don't give a fuck and there's only so much space in the cabinet.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And you don't need the lyrics to some dumb song.
Right.
You don't need to know.
Yeah. I'm definitely bad with names. If people, I'm very polite and I'm happy to meet people, very open. But the name goes right out in one ear.
I wouldn't even know how to remember a name.
Yeah.
I don't. There is a good one that but when you hear it, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you meet Bill Burr, right? You picture his first name's Bill.
Okay.
So you picture him on the back of another Bill. So you picture Bill Cosby giving him a piggyback ride.
Okay.
And it's actually a good way to remember names.
Like you're visually.
Yes. You're like,
adding something to
I know
it.
a girl named Sandra, and I would picture her on Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor's back. And that's how I would remember her name.
Okay. I'll try that.
It sounds insane, but it actually it works.
Okay. Yeah, because I've had a couple people like, you've met me before. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah. And then your people pleasing kicks in. And
exactly. And then I'm like spiraling, trying to make them feel better.
Eat.
I know. Yeah.
What have you done about it at home? Do you have to make a concerted effort to listen?
I do need to do that, Neal.
That exhale was great.
I'm trying.
I really felt how badly you need to.
Well, there's also, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself. I have bad hearing. And not a lot of people know about. I don't have I'm not diagnosed with I haven't gone to the doctor, but I genuinely have bad hearing. And sometimes
everything's lower.
Everything's lower. And I just don't hear everything. I remember when Bert Kreischer told me the first time that he told me in a podcast he didn't like me at first because he was passing by. We didn't really know each other. This was back in the day. It was at the Improv. I had just come off stage and he was next, I guess. And he said he told me great job. And I walked right past him, and he goes, so I would tell everybody Fortune is so mean and aloof or something. And he goes, everybody was like, that doesn't seem like her.
Yeah.
I know her. That doesn't seem like her. And then I said, Bert, and we laughed about it because I go, Bert, I did not hear. There's no way in the world I heard you and walked past you and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But I genuinely don't hear sometimes people say stuff. So if I don't see them, I keep walking if I haven't heard them. So part of the listening is on me and my ADD, but it's also I sometimes just don't hear.
Have you ever taken Ritalin for ADD?
I haven't, but I'm starting to think, should I look into it? Because it's getting worse as I get older.
Just try it.
Yeah.
For a day.
Yeah.
Just one day. Just one day.
See if I can focus.
Do hard drugs.
Yeah. Well, I think Zooms haven't helped. Because so much.
Zooms haven't. That's so much full block right there.
Yeah. So
Zooms
much has changed with that.
Give it to her, Will. Zooms haven't helped. It's gonna come up behind your head. Ding. Zooms haven't helped anybody at any.
No.
I've never seen you on Zoom before.
We do our radio show via Zoom, and it's 2 hours a day. And I'm in my office. I mean, if something can distract me, it will. I'm like,
well, you got to clear you got to clear your eye line for real.
I know.
You have to.
Yeah.
I can't be on a Zoom and let me just look at them.
I know. I'm just nope. I'm trying to X out of all the things on my computer. I got to put my phone over here. I got to then all of a sudden I'm staring at the bird outside my window. I'm just all over the place with the Zooms.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad. Do you do subtitles on when you watch TV?
No, not to that point.
That would be a good for hearing. That would be does Jax think you're listening to stuff too loud? No, it's for some reason with TV and stuff. I'm okay. I'll occasionally be like, what do they say? Huh?
But it's as of where I'm at right now, I'm okay with that. It's more of if we're out and about, people are around, they're saying something to me. I can't zero in on where that's coming from, or even it doesn't even register.
It's funny. We all know how crazy it is to be a person.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have insanely high expectations for other people. Right. We're like, I'm going through, I can't hear. And then I got the comment section. And then Bert's like, Bert's mad at me. Just all this, why the fuck do we have these expectations? You know what this is like. Yeah, right. It's hard. Yeah. I'm drowning. I'm not drowning all the time, but it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. And but we're all we have in terms of to get satisfaction from.
Yeah. But should I put more effort into being listening and not doing the checklist With my relationship, 1000%.
But I'm not even mad at the checklist. Like,
good.
Meaning, I don't. If you're you're worried.
Yeah.
Like, okay, remember when you ever audition for something and the people that you're auditioning for are like on their computer and you want to go, motherfucker, I'm auditioning right now.
Right.
They're working.
Right.
They're doing shit they have to do. They're not like fucking around.
Yeah.
They literally have to answer an email. And they're probably not the most important person in there. Just we don't think about if someone's anxious about something like, you got your hands full. This is a good one.
Okay.
Culturally, I'd say it can be nerve-wracking going into certain cities as a gay woman.
Yeah. I mean, that's been coming up a little bit more for me lately.
Because you're going to more cities probably.
Well,
right?
going to more cities. I mean, I'm from the South. I grew up in very conservative areas, very red states all around me and in North Carolina. So it's not anything out of the ordinary. And I don't shy away from those places. I have some of the best shows I've ever had in, Oklahoma, in Tennessee, in Florida, like
people
Dallas.
that have places that have laws against you.
Yeah, right. But there is this, kind of hate bubbling up again where it kind of felt like it went away for a bit.
Yeah.
And now it's feeling like that vitriol's coming back where you're like, oh, I thought we were past this. I thought we were like getting like on board with like just, love who you love.
Yeah.
And I've definitely I've been touring now for 13 years solid. And, I have incidences for sure where I'm looking over my shoulder in certain towns, certain
people
cities.
Yelling stuff.
Early on in my career, as soon as I said I was gay on stage, I've had people get right up out of their seats in a club and leave, and so not like a
people
hate.
You paid to be theatrical, make an event out of your show.
Exactly.
Fine, sir.
Yes.
Who I am.
Yeah,
I want to apologize for 1 second, and I'm about to get a 40-second applause break because I'm a hero.
I've been on the road with my wife where like they didn't know we were together. She's very, feminine looking, and they didn't know we were together. And the person was like super nice to her. And then I went to the bathroom. They didn't see me with her, and they were very mean to me for no reason. And I was like, clocked it, like that was weird. And then when we went to pay, like the woman realized we were together and then was mean to both of us. And my wife was like, that's so weird. She was like so nice to me. And I was like, I think that this is why. And that stuff is always kind of jarring. We've been in places where we've walked into a restaurant or a bar and you just feel the vibe where we're like, we should go. And it's hard to describe to people if no one's yelling a slur at you.
It's hard to
describe energy.
Yeah.
And I go, I know the energy. I can feel the energy when I'm not supposed to be somewhere. And I get myself right out of that position. But, it does make you nervous when you're on the road to be like, where are we going with this vitriol? How will this present itself? Is it just an internet thing? Is it going to be, keep going into laws?
Yeah.
Are we going to be, is my marriage in jeopardy at some point? Right now we're just kind of like, where is this going?
Yeah.
And so it definitely, as a touring stand-up, become very eye-opening because you're not living in your bubble.
It also makes you
everywhere.
Paranoid.
Yeah.
In that people don't understand when you get heckled at a show, just as an example. You get heckled at the 10th minute of your act.
Mm-hmm.
You're worried about it for the rest of your show.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think straight.
Right.
You're literally doing it. So if you go into a bar
mm-hmm.
and you feel the energy, you're probably going to be like, let's just go back to the room.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to go, let's give another bar a shot.
Yeah, right. No.
And then you also are scanning other people
mm-hmm.
for it. Like, is this one of those? Is she going to be like that other person?
Right.
And it kind of makes the whole thing like worse.
Mm-hmm.
The whole experience worse.
Yeah. It's just interesting. I've landed in certain places where Jackson and I start holding hands, and you can immediately tell, like, oh no, this this is not the place.
Do you have a good bit about Saudi Arabia or Dubai or something?
About I'm doing a thing right now about going on our honeymoon, and we had to stay over in Qatar. So and other countries, you definitely have to think about it. So there's nothing I personally can do about any of this. I just have to be aware of where I'm going, what my surroundings are. If there's a vibe that I shouldn't be there, get the heck out of there.
Well, yeah, it's like it's just like any ism where it's like racism or sexism or where you just go like, it's just fucking makes this 25% worse.
Yeah.
And it's not, I can't show you what, but
yeah,
it's just so stupid. And the thing you talked about, the flare up, is it's almost proof that it has nothing to do with reality. It's like, are gays getting too many rights? Like, what do you?
Yeah, I don't understand it personally. Why all of a sudden it's a thing again? But yeah, with that being said, 90%, 95% of the places I go, lovely, lovely experiences, lovely people, kind. Great shows.
But it is a weird thing to think about. Yeah. Before you go. It's a weird, it's like, how's the sexual preference climate there?
Right. And I've had that thought lately. I was going to a certain state and I thought, I'm actually going to rent a car because I'm gay, my opener's gay, and I think I should just drive us. It could have been that nothing would have happened and it would be totally fine if I Ubered. Got in a stranger's car. It could have been amazing. But I'm like, just as a precaution, I'm going to rent a car.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you just kind of make a little adjustments here and there where you think maybe this will be better. And I went to that place. I did rent a car. But as far as my experiences at the hotel, at the restaurants, at the show, lovely. So you just never know. But with that,
you only got into like 3 car chases.
And I always am trying to play devil's advocate. I could have something bad happen in the most progressive city in the world. You just don't know. Yeah. And also,
that's what's so exciting about being a lesbian.
And also someone who's
never know where it comes.
That's right. But also someone who's not gay could experience something else. You know what I mean?
Of course.
We're in a wild time. Yeah. Where anybody could experience any sort of not pleasant thing at any point because we're in a very unsettling time.
Because social media made people lose their minds.
I guess.
Okay. And 2 more questions. Okay. What have you done in your life that's made you come to accept yourself more? Whether it's like therapy or medication or 12-step groups. Yeah.
I have had a couple of big transitional moments, I think. The first was coming out of the closet. It helped me accept myself more, love myself more. It was, like I said, before I came out, it was sort of a non-thing, but I just knew something was off. Something was different. Why am I not connecting with someone romantically? Why am I not the object of someone's affection?
How old were you when you came out?
25.
What was your arc with it? You were like, oh, I think I'm attracted to women. And then how long before you come out?
It was starting to bubble up for me more when I moved to LA at 23.
Well, there's better looking women out here.
I mean, there's a lot more but they're open. I'm like, I know that person's a lesbian. Yeah. Where I wasn't seeing that as much back home at that.
There's nothing to be attracted to.
20 years ago.
There's no
you stop. And so it started bubbling up. But 25 was when I had the aha, as Oprah says, the aha moment. And then came out pretty quickly after that, in steps.
Within hours. I'm kidding.
I told friends first, then family a few months later, that kind of thing.
Do you do due diligence on yourself? Like, do you go, are you sure? Do you just like that? Or do you bargain with your preference? Do you go, it would probably be easier if you were attracted to guys. Let me work from that.
I think in that 23 to 25-year-old time, where it was bubbling up, that's when I had the maybe I just need to, haven't found the right guy.
Bigger, more massive.
But yet again, the guys were like, no, thank you. And I would have gone on the dates, but we just didn't have that rapport. We immediately were like high-fiving each other, a very, brotherly, sisterly kind of relationship. So there was that then. But once I like fully was like, I'm gay, it was like, no, this is who I am. And it opened up that whole a whole other world to me. But it made me make sense. I go, now I
looking back, you go, oh.
Now I get why I was like this. Now I get why I felt like this. Now I know why I was intense with this friend, or, like it just made, so it really was like and of course, like you said,
and you're not even you were intense with somebody.
Yes, many friends.
You wanted to fuck them, for lack of a better term.
I wanted intimacy. I
Got
think. I wasn't even going to that level with it. I was so naive and young in the thoughts of it. It was like holding hands, hugging. It wasn't even like
you just wanted closeness with this person. I wanted intimacy. You wanted to fuse with this person.
And so that was a big transitional time for me of like, I finally know who I am. And I think that
must have been fun. In a weird,
it was freeing. A weight lifted off your shoulders. So that helped me start that journey of self-acceptance for sure. And then as I got more into dating and making a lot of wrong choices, dating a lot of the wrong people, because I'm now dating as people did when I was 16. I'm doing that as a 28-year-old, 30-year-old.
Meaning what?
Meaning I'm making all the mistakes you make when you're young, dating the wrong people, putting up with things you shouldn't put up with. Like people were like, I used to date someone like that when I was in college, but not now.
Yeah, like now I would never.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know.
Because you don't know.
I'm just trying to date.
And you also don't know what to, like your standards are kind of low because you're like, I'm just happy it's a woman.
I'm just happy. I'm happy.
I know what I like.
1,000%.
This shit's real basic for me, gang.
Yeah.
I just want a woman, and then whatever we can negotiate.
Figure out the other stuff. I just wanted experiences.
Yeah.
And so, but as I got into my 30s, I was like, oh wait, this is becoming not good. I'm getting into relationships that are bad for me now. Now it's becoming toxic. And so I went to therapy. I did 3 years of therapy because I go, okay, I'm the common denominator. I'm the person picking all these people. I'm allowing them to treat me this way. Why am I doing that? Why? Well, what is it that I'm doing that I need to fix? Because I can't be in the relationship like this long term.
Right.
And my fear is that I will allow myself to do that because I just want to be loved. I just want, if someone picks me, I'm afraid I'll just go, yeah, you picked me. So, okay, I'm glad to be picked.
Yeah.
Even though you're totally wrong for me. And that definitely changed my perspective on dating and trying to make better choices and not putting up with that kind of stuff.
It's so funny because it's the same. It's just identical. It's like women in their 20s just make fucking bad decisions. And it is basically like where you go, do you like them? And they're like, what?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Do you like this person? They're like, I didn't even consider it.
Yeah. You just go, oh, you picked me and I want to be picked and I need love. So, okay.
Close enough.
Yeah. But, that's why meeting Jax was so different. For the first time, I was like, I like you, you like me. We're choosing each other, It was...
I mean, a good relationship is like, it's like finding money. It's like, I can't fucking believe I met you.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Totally.
And it's like not even romantic. It's almost selfish because it's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my final question.
Okay.
Movie of your life. Who plays you? What's the story?
Oh my gosh. Movie of my life. Who plays me? Is Charlize Theron available?
Yeah, of course. Don't change a thing.
Feel like just alike, right? My gosh, who would play me?
Charlize.
I mean, I'm a very specific look. It's not easy to like pinpoint a current actor that be like they're
Charlize
perfect.
is doing it.
Shirley's doing it.
What's the
She's got to put on a few LBs.
Whatever. That's on. If you guys talk, you'll go to lunch.
It's like every time I have a stunt double, it's some really fit woman that they've put a pillow into.
Oh,
her
that's
shirt.
funny. And so there's never like they walk on a set, you're like, what?
And their curly wig. Well, I know Kathy Bates should play my mom.
Great.
Wouldn't that be pretty cool?
Great. Fantastic.
Can I just play myself?
Okay.
I want to play myself.
Great. Muhammad Ali did that.
Charlize can play my older sister.
I also believe they're making a Snoop series and Snoop should play himself. Like, I don't want to see somebody play him.
Right. I want to play myself. Kathy Bates play my mom.
Great. What's the story?
Maybe like, am I making it up or
it's like, what's been your life story? What's been the arc? Who were you? What did you overcome? What did you learn?
Just a small town girl. That's so
great.
No, I'm from a small town, so I imagine it'd be, starting in North Carolina, tiny town. And that relationship with the mom and daughters at the helm.
Yep.
A loving and complicated relationship. It's a journey of self-discovery.
What is it? Your sexuality, being a comedian.
Yeah. Sexuality, being a comedian, moving away from home, spreading the wings, hardships, like as far as starting with nothing. $30 in your pocket, your Acura Legend. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you look back on like moving?
Mm-hmm.
What was the suspicion you had about yourself or about life that made you go, I should go to LA?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know you're gay. Like, what is the
pull?
Yeah.
Kind of that feeling being in that small town, going to a small college of like, is there more? This can't be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had that feeling my whole life of like, my town's 10,000 people. My college was 1,200 people. Just like, there's got to be more. Like The Little Mermaid, but, just like what's out there, feeling like not in touch with the rest of the world. It was like I said, pre-internet, I remember being fascinated by MTV. Because it was like, what, the real world? I was like, oh my God, like, look at it. Look at all these people.
Yeah.
Look at all their backgrounds. Look at that city they're in. Oh my God, that restaurant. Like, my mind was blown. And it feels so naive to say that now, considering what all we know of everything everywhere. Yeah. But it was a different time.
It really was.
And just like, I'm scared. I don't know what's out there, but I know, I think I gotta go out there.
Yeah. If said improperly, it's like, I'm too great for this town. Or I just want to, I don't know, there's something.
I just want more.
Yeah, I want more. People are like, well, this isn't good enough. You're like, yes, but it's not your fault because it is good enough for most people.
Yeah, it's a great place to grow up. I love my hometown. I go there several times a year to see my family. But yeah, I think I just always had this internal thing of like, there's got to be more than this. And where do I find it? I even moved to Spain for a year after college because I was so craving.
You overdid it. You went one too many.
I know, but that's how much I was craving anything different country, different people, different language, because I felt like I had been so I didn't have enough exposure to anything. And I just was always like, there's got to be more to this. And just really.
Did you read much?
Ish. Reading was never your
thing, your jam.
I was more than watching every episode of The Real World that I could possibly watch.
It's sad when you get to, there comes a time in a person's life when the real world doesn't work on you anymore.
I know, right?
It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You just know, you like, let me do one more episode. And then you're like, I don't care anymore.
And you don't care anymore. I know. That day was a sad day. But it was but in the beginning, I felt like the show was like a real cultural moment.
It was.
And then eventually it just was this is a reality show.
Yep.
They just want to be on TV. But in the beginning, it was like, this is like changing culture.
Yeah.
We're talking about things we didn't talk about before.
Like that Truvada commercial where the guys kiss at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't explain to someone how crazy that would have been. Like, what?
Yeah.
When do they air this?
Yeah.
After 2 a.m.? No, they air it in the morning.
Yeah.
There was a kiss on the Real World, I feel like was like a big deal. Or like the guy had AIDS.
Pedro had AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like but that I was craving any story other than mine. I want to learn about.
And you didn't know if it was sexual preference based.
No, it wasn't. It was
just
anything. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I just wanted to see different people, meet different people, be around different people. What is that? What is beyond Belmont, North Carolina?
And now all you do is stay home and watch Netflix. Sad. Sad, everyone. Tune in to one of her Netflix specials, Good Fortune.
Good Fortune, Sweet and Salty.
Sweet and Salty. Tune into Fubar on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Tom Papa have a morning show on Netflix, The Joke Radio. And you have a podcast.
Oh,
and you're on tour.
Fortunate, and I'm on tour.
And she's on tour.
All over the country.
There's so many ways to win.
I'm all over the U.S., New Zealand, Australia as well.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Great.
And it's an all new hour. So if you watch Good Fortune, it's a whole different set.
Nice.
Yeah.